Hi, welcome back. I'm Paul Chartier. On the Move Art Studio, Josh Nasdam, the co-founder?
Yep.
Who's the other founder?
Kathy Working.
She couldn't be on tonight. And Keela Brown, good to have you.
Good to
So the
thanks.
other, I'm not done with this. The other co-founder, is she still involved in the program and what's going on?
Yeah. So she just had another event tonight, so
Yeah.
she couldn't make it. But yeah, she is. Without Kathy, this wouldn't exist.
You're being way too humble. We have the two players on right now. And thanks for joining us to do this.
No problem. Thank you.
You were on before.
I was.
How long ago was that?
Oh, I think 4 years ago.
Gosh.
I think it was the first couple episodes.
You've been around for 4 years?
I have, yeah.
Gosh.
I had a different hairstyle back then. I had a shaved head, so to show
Yeah.
time progression, I figured
yeah.
for this episode I would grow my hair out.
The Jesus look works for you. Yeah, it's
That's what I'm going for.
Yeah, I worship you.
Wow.
Things happen quickly around here. So 4 years ago,
Yeah.
explain to people what you started, and getting through the first year is the toughest.
Yeah.
And then you've been able to sustain it. What's been going on?
It's been great, yeah. So November 2014 is when we launched our Kickstarter campaign. We had to raise $8,000 to renovate a trailer into a mobile art room. So September 10th, 2015 is when we cut the ribbon and we launched. And we really haven't looked back since. So our main mission is to go to low-income neighborhoods and have free arts classes for kids. And really from the moment we cut the ribbon, we haven't had a slow period. And it's just been growing and growing and growing. Since then, we've served about 25,000 children.
What in you, because you've got an interesting, emotional life history.
Yeah.
What happened to you to say, I want to do this?
Yeah, so for me, it's a very personal mission. So while they're kids that we're serving, I also recognize myself in a lot of them. So I grew up in a really bad neighborhood with a lot of drugs, a lot of crime. I come from a family that has a lot of issues. And so a lot of the kids I grew up with didn't make it out. A lot got addicted to drugs and passed away early on. So for me, it was kind of like escaping an avalanche. And I felt like if I ever made it out of that mess, I'd like to go back and help kids who grew up like me. So that was my dream my whole life, was to try to start something to help kids who grew up like me. And so it really feels like a dream come true that I get to do this every day. It's awesome.
It could be a dream, but to think about buying a vehicle and taking it to areas, that's kind of uncharted territory.
Yeah.
How did that happen?
Well, so we were actually trying to start an arts center for at-risk youth, and we're trying to get this building, and just long story short, after 3 years, we just couldn't get it off the ground. And so Kathy had the idea. She saw this trailer in Indiana, and she thought, well, what if we just use this and we start small? So we saw the trailer, it all clicked, and it was like suddenly the door had opened, and we were banging our head against the wall, and finally, because I think we were just pretty persistent, it just all clicked. And my hope is that in 10 years we'll have 10 of these just going all over the place.
Yes. Well, we'll talk about that in a minute. Keela, what's your connection to this fantastic idea and effort?
Well, actually, I met Josh. He was my professor at UK, so we're both social workers.
Stop right there. You taught at UK?
I did, and I still do.
What subject?
Social work.
You have a PhD?
I would love to say that, but since this is on the record, I do not. So I got my bachelor's and my master's degree in social work.
But you have a master's?
No. So I typically teach 1 or 2 courses a semester.
Amazing guy.
He's awesome.
Okay, so he was your professor.
Cool. He was my professor, and he brought up On the Move Art Studio, and I just was very inspired just by his ability to create this from the ground up thing. And I thought, wow, this is amazing. I'm an artist myself, so I thought after I graduated, I wanted to get involved with something, and the first thing I was like, I want to do this with Josh. I thought it would be amazing. We could both use our talents together and bring some positivity to these kids, and that's how I got involved with art on the move.
Are you from Lexington?
I am, sir.
What high school?
Tate's Creek.
So you know how this town operates. You don't, because you're not from here. And I think when you go to high school, you go to college, you've got some kind of dream about whatever that looks like. But you are taking it right down to the grassroots. And you graduated how long ago?
I graduated from Tate's Creek in 2012.
And then UK?
UK in 2018.
Okay. And is this your job?
I do work here, yes. I work for Fayette County full-time, and I'm doing this with him for the summertime as an employee.
And what is your role in, are you the driver?
I'm
You're Josh's driver?
I don't know if I was that good of a
what happens
driver,
here?
but I just assist. I kind of lead activities when we're there, or assist with activities. I help the kids with their art, encourage them, support them, just kind of be a person there they can talk with and laugh with and goof around with them. So I try to just be that positive person for the kids.
It's still early in the summer, but you've seen maybe repeat kids.
Yeah.
Explain how they came to you and how they are right now.
Yeah, so it's been great. One of the main things we do starting out is, as social workers, we believe in not being paternalistic, so not deciding for people what they need based on your own opinions. So we never just show up randomly to a neighborhood that we determine is low income. We just say, hey, everybody, we exist. Let us know if you want us to come. We want it to be something that neighborhoods want, and we want it to be community driven. So by that approach, we're booked out usually 2 seasons in advance. So by February, our spring and our summer, we're totally booked. So it's really cool that different neighborhoods just keep inviting us back. So for example, we just got back on Monday from McCreary County, which is close to Tennessee, and that was our 3rd visit there. So even just seeing some of the same kids there, and they were just excited. And it's just really cool. Like, bare minimum, my hope is that when they see the trailer, they know, oh, something good is happening in my neighborhood, where they feel that they can come out in their neighborhood. Again, growing up in a neighborhood that had a lot of drugs and violence, it's a weird thing when you realize the neighborhood you live in is the neighborhood that other parents say, don't you dare go to that neighborhood. And it's weird to realize, like, oh, that's my neighborhood. So that's our hope, is just that we're continuing to engage and give them something to do. It's been a lot of fun.
You own a trailer
We do.
and you need funding.
We do.
What's your website?
Our website is www.onthemoveartstudio.org.
And when people go to the website,
There it is.
what will they see, and how can they either donate art supplies, donate their time, or make a cash donation? How do they do that?
So on our website, we have a few different tabs. There is a tab that just says donate. You click on that, and then it gives you the options. If you want to donate directly online, you can do that right there. It's quick and easy, maybe 30 seconds at the most, depending on how quickly you type. Then there's another tab that says if you have supplies that you'd like to donate, there's a contact information for that. And then also, there's a way you can mail a check, and we have the information for that. We'd appreciate any sort of amount, because it just goes to support our art classes.
Do you have any big corporate sponsors or individuals that you'd like to thank?
Yeah, so one in particular that just happened recently is the Kentucky Arts Council. We currently provide arts classes at 2 juvenile detention centers in Kentucky, the Fayette County one, and then one in northern Kentucky, Campbell Regional Juvenile Detention Center. And so the Kentucky Arts Council is now supporting that. So they are helping us with funding by allowing us to get our supplies, pay some artists some stipends to teach classes. So the Kentucky Arts Council has been amazing. The Lexington Leadership Foundation, they were our very first partner, and we still partner with them today. Can't thank them enough. There's so many.
Who do you want to target to expose to what you do, to say, you want to jump on board with something great that we're doing for kids? Any ideas of people or companies that you want to talk to?
Yeah, so I think one that would be great is art businesses. So for example, it'd be awesome to meet somebody who works at Michael's, who maybe they can just donate some supplies to us. One of my dreams would be to start a kind of like a Salvation Army, but for art supplies. So sometimes we get an excess of crayons, for example, and they can end up just staying in a closet. So it'd be great if we had a little storefront where donated art supplies that we can't use can be sold at a cheap price, and it goes to support our mission. That's one of my dreams.
And where do you work?
I work for Fayette County Public Schools.
Don't the art classes probably have at the end of the year a bunch of stuff?
Our art teacher, he does so much. It's kind of like a hub for the kids to be just creative and do whatever. He's actually expressed interest in Art on the Move coming there to our school, so schools do want to partner with us and kind of we can use their supplies and they'd be more than willing to do that. So that's definitely an option.
And art products that expire at the end of the school year, they would probably love to donate it somewhere
Yeah.
and have it go to good use. You talked about a fundraising fun run coming up.
Yeah.
When is it and how do people get involved?
Yeah, so it's going to be August 17th, 2019. It's On the Move Art Studio 5K. So you can look on our website or our Facebook page. We have information about that. And so it'll be a fundraiser for our mission. So you can run it, you can walk it, you can maybe lay on the ground and just keep rolling if you want to. You can get to the finish line by any means necessary
Yeah.
for a good cause.
Where is it going to take place?
Coldstream Park.
Okay. And school will be in session then, correct? August?
It's August 17th. I don't know when they start.
School will be in session.
You will be?
Boom.
It will be.
There it is.
Wouldn't that be amazing to invite all the art teachers
Ooh.
to give them an entry to come out and see what you do?
If only we had a way to communicate to all of them right now.
I don't even think subliminally would be enough to do it. Maybe we can send them the link to this
Yeah.
taping. How
Maybe
about that?
maybe they can watch this and come out. Wink, wink.
What does art do for kids?
I think art is one of the most purest forms of someone being able to express themselves in so many different ways. We've got papers, paints, felt, buttons. There's so many different types of
Yeah.
materials, and kids can truly just go to town and just do what they want. If we give them that option, sometimes we follow like an activity, but then other kids are like, I want to do this with something completely different. And we're like, go for it, because it allows them to kind of just be free, creative, and just express themselves in the way people can't do that often. So art is just kind of that outlet.
No barriers and just
Yeah.
let them go.
Exactly.
And in what you've seen with kids that are at risk, what does art do for them? Do you see a happiness in what they're producing?
Yeah, yeah. So one of our goals is to use art as a way to build self-efficacy, self-esteem, and confidence. And so the idea is, if we have a project, sometimes the kids will see it, the finished version, and say, oh, I can't do that. But then we just try to encourage them and say, no, you can, you can.
Yeah.
And the hope is that if they can do a simple art project that they were a little bit doubtful at first, those are the building blocks for later in life, where maybe you go for a goal or a job or a career or something that you didn't think you could do, but you start those building blocks. And especially with, in juvenile detention centers, just giving kids an outlet of an hour of time with some good music, some art. Crank and Boom donates ice cream to us to use with the kids, so they'll get some good ice cream. And for an hour, they're treated with tenderness, and that might be the first time in their lives they've been treated with tenderness.
And I would think that kids that are going through stuff at home, this is, you're the ice cream truck of happiness. That when they see that truck pull up and see you, they know this is good time. And people aren't going to tell them what to do.
Yeah.
That they get to freelance for an hour and create this whatever. But like you said, the self-esteem that they created, that's going to be so heartwarming for both of you.
Yeah.
It is very fulfilling, just seeing them proud of some art that they've done. And one of the things I love to do, I just love to just tell them how proud I am. Like, this is amazing. Just kind of really gas them and just tell them, this is so good. You did amazing. And they love it. Absolutely love it.
Do you know what the name of this TV program is?
Heart of Gold.
Heart of Gold.
That defines both of you.
Oh, well, thank you, Paul. I think it defines you.
Great people. Glad you're in Lexington and glad you didn't leave.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Go to the website. Let's give it again.
www.onthemoveartstudio.org.
Keela, Josh, thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having us.
Go to the website. Make Lexington better through art. I'm Paul Chartier. Thanks for watching Heart of Gold.